Beats swimming. Dismounted. Says the tribe Sifu sent them here to help defend against the rival tribe that's been terrorizing their village. Isn't sure how long the village will last if it continues. As if the plague ruining the land and destroying the crops wasn't enough to bring the village to its knees already. That's what they call the blight that's been haunting the land since the old world ended in the apocalypse around here. The Sifu asked you to help, and that's what you must do. Says you were a quiet kid and is happy to see you working toward progress. Shine's happy that the Myriad can count on a friend as bright as you. Didn't have much else to say, so no problem. The Sifu asked you to help, and that's what you must do. Says you should enjoy the day. The tree remains intact, but you must all make a change to save it. Understands you have other places you need to go. The Sifu asked you to help, and that's what you must do. Has plenty to do, so no worries. Let's see. Don't get caught in a riptide. Found some e-waste. Worthwhile. No one can swim this fast. The Quack Hollow. It's just lonely. The right key could... Locked solid. Got what he deserved. Don't need to aim much when you can fire this many bullets. Biohazard makes your skin crawl. Ready to hack and slash. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. There's no reason to think this might explode. That was fun? That's enough quacks to sustain the Googlide flipper with infinite ammunition. Goop says he was there when the Porky Puff took Out-of-Date's leg, so this World Eater has made it personal. After that, Out-of-Date started using his head instead of his legs and came up with the plan on how to best make a stand against the World Eaters, and it wasn't by foot. He seems happy to talk. Wishes you hadn't had to grow up alone, but says you seem stronger for it. Understands you have other places you need to go. He seems happy to talk. Says the sound from the mini-metal can drive you crazy. Wonders what kind of good you'll get up to today. Wishes you goodbye. He seems happy to talk. Says talking to you was interesting. Might want to get a move on before it gets too dark. Got a jet. Soft. That's a monster nest, if ever I've seen one. Vroom, vroom. There's a lot on the line here. Watch out for you. You don't have the experience to pull that off. It's the porky puff nibbling bark. It took quite a liking to the crunchy stuff after munching down out-of-date's leg. Hook the boom ball and tow it beneath the puff. Unleash the quacks. Ain't that a two-bane quacks? Wind of change. Don't let this opportunity slide. He thanks you for dealing with another World Eater. You're halfway there.
All the goose are gonna head AA.
He's got word out of date spotted Lupin and has a feeling your time has come. He hopes you're up for it. Even though you're good-hearted, you shouldn't miss this opportunity to confront the Predator. Just head back to the foot of the tree. Fingers crossed Lupin will stay put until you're there. You'd think this place would be crawling with worms. Out of Date says the time has come for you to reconcile with your past. Lupin is still staying in the camp where he was brought up. He hopes you'll find the answers you are looking for there. Even though darkness is a part of your nature, he suggests you try to keep your cool, as the best fighter is never angry.
Gabobe Farhi.
He'll point you in the right direction, but the rest is up to you. This part of the journey is one you'll have to do on your own. Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains.
Ewe Boboye.
Out of Date hopes you'll find your way and the answers you were looking for once you're there.
Ya Yumawa.
He knows he said it before, but the time has come to put an end to the Lupin's reign of terror.
Cantita duela bofo.
You should get over there, come face to face with destiny. It's going to be you against the Lupin. No rules.
Koyetu koreboy.
He's happy to help.
Tuloya. Voto Lola.
Has plenty to do, so no worries. Could this thing steer itself? Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains. Tread carefully here. This is Lupin's camp. Looper Lupin says he's been looking at he wanted you to come here and see for yourself where it all started. He was so little when your mother and kin came here to put an end to his mother just because she was different, a hunter. That night, the hunter became the hunted, trapped with nowhere to run. He says your mother showed no mercy, only vengeance. He can see that you're not like your mother. There's something different about you. Maybe you would have made a better decision than she did, and let them be. They orphaned him, left him alone, an outcast and a freak. Looper Lupin says he's been reliving the moment every night since then. He says your mother and her disciples started something that couldn't be undone. They created the monster he would become. No! He knew his time would come, and he was patient. So, when he got news about your birth, he knew how to get revenge that would last. Just so! That's why he spared you that night he raised the village when you were a child. He wanted you to suffer for life, like he had. He marked you for life, so he'd recognize you when you met again, and you'd eventually remember where you came from. His hunger grew insatiable over the years to come. He tried, but being vegetarian wasn't in his nature, and he couldn't go hungry. But he's never taken a life for the sake of appetite. It's always been about survival, and that our true self is being who we are. A deep look into nature will make you understand everything better, and that natural selection eliminates, and the strongest survive. Fate is for those too weak to determine their own destiny, and now the time has come for you to accept yours. Terminal. Itchy trigger finger. It's a game of life, yours and everyone else's.
Vunko vunturbo.
Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy.
Udenuko nunyofobo.
He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Noko in the east.
Udenuko nunyofobo.
Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Noko.
Paikatawa?
He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Noko and making sure she gets what she needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date was spot on. The hoof puff needs to be stopped.
Yalawawatnawa.
Out of Date says that Noko is worried now that the Eastern World Eater is stepping up its activity.
Atu wamawa.
He explains that Noko keeps a fabled steed that she has planned to ride out to the World Eater, but needs help to get it prepared.
Potowata.
Out of Date suggests that you should head east as fast as possible and see what you can do to help.
Ayamuwaya.
He's happy to help.
Honto kontue ponye vun goja.
Understands you have things to do. Make the most of the night while you can. Scrapalicious. Glad to see some wood scrap there. Yippee-ki-yay! Vump is the place to be, obviously. Says the shop holds something for everyone, especially you. Suggests you take it easy. You won't strike a good deal here if you're in a hurry. Wasn't too bad a deal, was it? Glad you got rid of that. That worked out. A story has got to keep moving forward. Maybe get rid of some extra things? Shook on it. A bargain. Let's see. crossway. This means you have a choice to make. Which way? It's just one peak after another. This region is known as the Canuckstone. You can't find a harder place in the world. Ah, the Gnote pen. Noko never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first. Let's see.
Puri kumbala muma. It's intended.
Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again.
Domale tuku.
She wonders if you remember her. She's Noko. She let you ride her Majut when you were a kid.
Kala.
Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark. But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going. Is sure they'll come back on their own once you stop forcing them. Hopefully not to haunt you, though. You've suffered enough already. Noko remembers those days too, but she never lets herself wallow in them, no matter how tempting that can be. She sees you're back to buck with Lupa Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least. She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still. Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like until it's worn smooth. But you get to blaze your own trail from here. Then you are stronger than her. She can't help wanting Lupa Lupin to pay for what he did to her Gnotes, despite the fact it's against her nature.
Come toward the light.
Slow down. Why would you rush in?
When you see what you want, why wait?
Well, what about being careful?
Pah! Poppycock! Full speed ahead!
Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones. You can't do everything you want, can't go everywhere, can't see everything, only what you can. So happy the world is going to live, would have been crushed to see all the Gnotes die with it. Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out. Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to any day, and sometimes the nights too. They're just so shiny, makes her smile to think about them. But let's not speak of that now.
Urasa durut.
She has an idea where the Majut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Majut Meadow.
Kanamunt.
The Majut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you.
Ariaroche nui mumera.
You should lead the Majut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the World Eater.
Monibasa.
She's sad that something as wild as the hoof puff can't be tamed, but has to come to terms with the fact that you need to stop it. A mountain is the opposite of a swamp. Always good to have some wood scrap like that on hand. You found the Majut Meadow. Watch out for the Majut. You still want more than that. The day is always brighter.
Ariaroche nui mumera.
Now that the Majut is back in the pen, it seems calm, but Noko is still concerned.
Amun.
She says the Majut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down.
Inga valdor.
The Majut once found and ate a bonbon gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down.
Asil natu.
She says that you should find some bonbon gummies for the Majut by the crossway. At least, that's where she found some last time.
Taifanamenuma.
She figures the choosies from the old world are made from gummy trees, but wouldn't be surprised if they were actually made from some chemical concoction, though. Find us a sunset to ride into. The best way to travel. That cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. What you see is what you get. Once it's out of the blind box, that is. Definitely not open. You flick the switches in order to green-light the current and activate the electrons in the panel. Good. The loop is electrified enough to spark. With its attention diverted to the chewy bonbon gummy, the Majut calms down. But Noko is still concerned. She's relieved the Majut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got. The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old-world Mecha-Majut. If she remembers correctly, she spotted it at the Smilo Shopperia while scavenging for treats for the Gnotes. That's not so far away. It's a seat you fasten on the back of a mount to safeten up your ride. It can become quite bumpy and risky without.